Hello, my name is Derek. I'm the founder of StrikeAid. We basically create gamified, interactive, playable content across multiple platforms, primarily on TikTok, where we have, as you can see here, 844,000. We started all the way back in 2020 with nothing but 0 followers and just an iPhone camera. We also have on Instagram 152,000 followers. Right, and I believe that started a couple years later. I think it was about in 2022 around that time, and we grew to 152,000 in maybe our first year and a half at the latest. Today I'm just making this quick video to basically show and kind of teach how you can apply PlayMaxing to your tech startup to 100x your presence and brand awareness on social media, right? I'm assuming that if you get even any downloads at all from your content, that you can amplify the number of monthly downloads or new users you get by applying gamified interactive content, right? So let's just jump straight into it. So first I want to show another video that does gamified content, but they don't have a product. So we're going to go here. This is, I believe it's called Country Quiz. So the brand is called CNC. If we go over here to their Instagram reels, it says, "Can you guess the country? Can you guess the country?" So they have a few interactive quizzes where you play. We'll fire one up. So this one has 11 million, right? So can you guess the country? I and then a rock. So I'm guessing Iraq or Iraq.
Iraq.
Moon, a cow. So Monaco.
Monaco.
And then one more, 4 ants. So France, I'm guessing.
France.
Okay, cool. So this is, you can call it PlayMax and you call it gamification, but this is basically content that makes you participate with it, right? A lot of content is just doom scrolling. It's very high in scrollability. It doesn't really force engagement. The way not traditional, but the way social media basically works is it's designed to give you like a dopamine hit purely for scrolling. But with this one, what it does is it captures your attention. It uses self-directed curiosity. Can you guess this country? It challenges your capabilities. Well, can you do this thing? Can you guess the country? Can you, et cetera, et cetera? And you earn your dopamine hit through participation. It still feeds into the algorithm because there's still this kind of, you could call it not lottery effect, but you could call it like roulette effect, like people playing like casinos and like gambling has this roulette effect because you may get the answer right or you may get the answer wrong, right? And you're sticking around, you're watching more of the video to see if you got the answer right or if you got the answer wrong. Right now, something that they're not doing here
Can you guess?
that we do on our content is they're not adding a score down here. I don't even know how many questions there were, but adding a score is another way to like even double their engagement because then people in the comments could be, I got 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 6 out of 10, whatever the case may be, right? And this would be great if they were like a mobile app that was like trying to teach geography, or they could even do for like, history or something like that. But that being said, this is just a page without a product, right? It's just purely gamified content in its niche. So now we're going to go to StrikeAid, right? So we're going to pick a video. I think this one is done pretty well. So this one basically applies the same mechanic, right? If you can dodge this punch, you're a natural fighter. So if you can perform said skill, you are insert name of reward or insert name of title. If you can dodge this punch, you're a natural fighter, right?
It's simple, really. I'm just better than you.
Right? So this is a game. You participate with the game. You basically are a part of the content. It's interactive, it's gamified, it's playable. Now let's look at these metrics. This is before we ever had a mobile app ever in progress. This was just when the idea was just a piece of content, and that's what the end product was just interactive, playable content. Views, we have 1.6 million. Accounts reached 700,000. Interactions, 36,000. Followers, non-followers, this is too long ago for them to calculate, I guess. Reels interactions, 29,000 likes, comments, 1,800 saves, 1,800 shares, 3,500 accounts engaged, 35,000 in profile activities, follows, 1,435, and then some statistics for Facebook over there, right? So this is just one example of interactive, gamified, playable content. Okay, here's another version that's a lot more polished because we've been doing this for about 6 years, creating and working on and perfecting gamified content for over 6 years. So this is where we're at when we're just doing purely iPhone, and this is when we started to apply like some graphics. Like I said before, you use a score, right? So at the bottom, it's not just whatever. It's 0 out of 10, 1 out of 10, 5 out of 10, whatever, right? So and then we include a tutorial, right? And then we're actually using graphics. So the red is where you don't go, the green is where you do go, right? So tutorial, move head towards green, the score, and it's starting off very quickly, like in the first 3 seconds, it's the hook, and then drop your score in the comments. That's meant to incite engagement. It's meant to incite engagement. And it also shows that there is a score for them to keep track of, right? Okay. So as you can see here, 0 out of 10, they can comment their score, whatever, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 10. That feeds the comment section. The comment section becomes like, think of like a game lobby where people are commenting their scores, they're dropping memes, they're having conversations, they're comparing with each other. You really turn your content into a game. Like, I can't stress enough how powerful that is because most content is scrollable. Nobody's really watching it. And the number of hours and manpower you would have to put into making your content immediately grab the user's attention in 2 or 3 seconds, you're not putting that in. Mr. Beast puts in like tens of hours per post YouTube video to grab the people's attention in the first, if long form YouTube might be the first minute, but like in short form content, like the first couple seconds. Most of you are not doing that. So instead of like trying to go through hours and hours and hours and hours and trying to figure that stuff out, you can just apply gamification. The hook is, here's how to play, here's how to win, drop your score in the comment section below. Now you have to time out how long it takes for each point to play out. Right? Because if it takes me forever to throw this punch, people will basically fall off. But this basically was a perfected version of this, where with this one it's just one punch, and if you can dodge this punch, and it's not really any graphics, it's not really showing people how to play. Whereas this version it has greens, it has lines, it has the reds, it has the scores, it has tutorials, so it's a much more polished version. Still shot off of iPhone, but much more polished nonetheless. We're gonna go to followers here, not followers. We're gonna go views here. 99% from non-followers, 9.2 million. So we basically reached over 9 million new people. Accounts reached 6.4 million. Interactions, 247,000, and most of them are for non-followers. Likes, 100K plus. Comments, 5,700. Saves this is the important part. Saves and shares. Ignore the comments, ignore the likes. It is the saves and the shares that you should be looking at, because what Instagram does is it wants to keep you on its platform. So if it sees content that keeps people watching, not only watching once, but potentially watching again, and then people are also sharing content to other people, think about it as like this. Like, I created something that's sticky, right? It's keeping people stuck to Instagram's platform. Right? And then not only is it sticky, it's shareable. So I created this thing that keeps people on Instagram's platform, and now I'm sharing it with other people. And then when those people see it, they'll be watching the content that keeps it on Instagram's platform, and they'll be sharing it out with other people. So the saves and the shares are really where it shines. Like, we have here 77,000 shares and 27,000 saves. That's really the key metric in all of this. It's not the likes, it's not the comments, those will come. It's not even the follows, but it's the saves and the shares, because the saves and the shares feed everything else. If there's a high amount of saves and shares, especially in a video, it'll keep being pushed out more and more and more. It's not the likes and the comments that decides that. That's old school Instagram thinking. It's the saves and the shares, because it's a piece of content that keeps you around. It keeps you away from TikTok. It keeps you away from Twitter. It keeps you away from YouTube. It keeps you on this platform. All right. Now, another big mistake people do is always doing a CTA, like comment XYZ for whatever, comment, that kills your engagement. Because Instagram, not just the people who work there, but people in general already know that, like, when it says comment XYZ for whatever, most people know that they're being like talked to by like a bot, which is ManyChat, right? And that it might lead them off platform. So if you have a purely organic video like this, that all it does is just like at the end of the video, let me see if I can get to the end over here. Let me see if I can skip to the end. There we go. right? If I should just drop your score in the comments and that's it at the end of the video, that's it. Instagram loves stuff that doesn't try to pull you off platform. Like if you're doing ads, comment whatever, fine, whatever, you can do that. But for organic content, Instagram wants content IP. It wants people to stay on their platform for various reasons. Like, oh, we have this unique video that popped up. Oh, this artist made this new track that blew up on our platform. Like they're all working together. Like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, they're all working together, but they're all also kind of competing with each other at the same time, if that makes sense, right? So when you have content IP like this, where you're making interactive, gamified content, Instagram will reward you nonstop with ridiculous, endless exposure for free. I think what it's called is basically earned media value. So it's like how much would it cost to get these results on ads? Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what that is. Instagram will reward you with ridiculous earned media value if you can create interactive, gamified content and create it well where people actually watch it all the way through. Because a video like this doesn't have 100% watch time. It has 300% watch time, like 400% watch time. Unless the person got it perfectly right the first time, which usually doesn't happen, depends on the difficulty of the game. But by and large, people are going to come back to this and watch it again. Especially in our niche with boxing, where people are training, they'll fire this up before a sparring practice, and they'll just be dodging punches. And we have other pieces of content I'm going to show you in a second, but they're going to be firing up stuff like this to practice and train. Like, because this is also a useful piece of content in our specific niche, where people can actually use it like as a training tool. You could think of it as utility content, tool content, whatever you want to call it. That's for another piece of content we're going to watch here in a second. But this is content that keeps people coming back. Because in our case, you're never going to be the ultimate perfect boxer. You're always going to have a reason to train, right? So onto this video. The more of the utility, I think it's this one. Nope, might be this one. This is one of them. But utility content is basically content that's made as a tool. It's a tool. So that's more this one. So when boxing, you want to move your head out of the way, right? But you want to have like a pattern of movement. You can call it strategic unpredictability. I want to be able to move in a way that you can't guess, but it's not just randomly moving. That's unstrategic unpredictability. So we created, like, we call it like a graph or a grid or a shape with a dot that follows along, and then you as the player basically have to follow along with the dot. Right, so it's going this way, it's going that way, and obviously I'm not doing it very well because this isn't the app yet. This is basically like I'm looking at my laptop and I'm trying to follow along with that, and then I put an overlay of the graph of this shape on there. But now that we actually have an app working and stuff like that, then I can obviously we made much better versions of this content. But yeah, this is basically someone before boxing practice, they would just watch this and they would just like practice moving with their head and stuff like that to work on their head movement so they don't get hit in sparring practice or whatever. That's what this would be, right? This is utility content. And how does utility content do? Well, let's go over here. 5.197 million views, most from non-followers, 3.3 million accounts reached, 96.8%, interactions 160K, non-followers 96.8%. And then again, here we go. Saves, 34,000. Shares, 23,000. Accounts engaged, 145,000. Right? Not that many follows, not necessary. We live in more of a interest media, not social media. So if you keep showing the kind of content to your niche that they want to see, they will find you. They don't even have to follow you. Following is essentially a vanity metric, but it is a good way to show how quickly you can gain loyalty. Because to follow something, that means other people who that person is following, they can see, oh, you're following this person. Like you went out of your way to click the follow button to consistently keep up with this person. So they must be something, right? So that's what that is for utility content. It's basically a tool. And think about it like a toolbox. Like this isn't necessarily a tool, but this is a pen, okay? I can save this pen, I could put it away for later, or I can share this pen with you, right? Save it, share it, use it, okay? Think about your content. Think about the content you want to create for your tech startup, your brand, or whatever. You want to be able to make it useful, savable, shareable. There has to be a reason to save it. Every time I write, I can pull up my pen that I saved for this, and I can share my pen with someone else who needs something to write with. I can share this piece of content with someone else who wants to box. I can save this piece of content and pull it up before anytime I spar, or before I train, before I practice, right? So that's another thing. Like, you have to think about your content as just an asset, not just a video people watch. A lot of your guys' content is way too scrollable. It's way too just like passe. It's like whatever. And like I said, you're not going to put the hundreds of hours of learning it takes to basically grab the person's attention to make sure they stick through the first 3 seconds. You're not. You're simply not. But gamified content takes care of all of that for you, right? People love a challenge. People love games. People love to like kind of test their own stuff instead of just mindlessly scrolling, right? So I have more videos on our apps page. That'll be for another video, but it's just a quick little introduction on gamified content, the effects it can have, and basically what your page could look like for your tech startup if you start applying gamified content in short order. You can easily imagine what it could do for your tech startup. If you're getting downloads now, if you're getting users now from the content you're posting now, imagine if you add gamified content to your strategy and then continue posting the content that you were posting to get you users and downloads, et cetera, et cetera. So again, that'll be for another video. I just want to make this quick little 16-minute video to just kind of refresh anybody who's been following us about what is gamified content, how does it work. We offer to create gamified content for any client who asks, but we have to be compatible. So you have to actually be teaching something. People have to be able to learn something from your startup, right? So boxing is pretty easy. You learn how to box. We do some in a couple other niches that are just, for me, it's my own personal fun, like for racing and FPS, like military. We do playable content for that, but that's not really something like, that's just for fun because it's just being creative. But we can do it for anything like language learning, like a Duolingo style app, for a health app, et cetera, et cetera. Anything that like has information that teaches that is to be taught to the user, we can make gamified content for. So if that's something you're interested, just contact us via email, via DM, however you want. Really doesn't matter. We're open. So yeah, that's all for this video. I will catch you guys in the next one.